right, we are live here. Razzle dazzle. Hello, everybody. It is 11:42 p.m. on Saturday, November 25th, 2023. My name's Dylan. This is my show, Dylan Knows. This is episode 528, Turducken, Coma. It was originally going to be called Turkey Coma, but I think I named an episode in my 10-year history. I think I called an episode that before, so I decided to switch it up a little bit. For those who don't know, turducken is a chicken cooked inside a duck, cooked inside a turkey. So you get all the meat together, you cut it all up, and you get all three meats. It's a delicacy in some places, and actually wouldn't mind trying it sometime to see how it tastes. But yeah, Thanksgiving has come and gone. My 4-day weekend has basically come and gone. Again, always too fast. Wednesday night, you're excited because you got 4 days off. And before you know it, Thursday hits, it's Thanksgiving. You have the parade, and then you got to get ready to go. And I had to go pick up my mom and drive her to my in-laws' house. And we have, the in-law stuff where we have food and talk and stuff like that. And then we leave, drop my mom back off, come back home. And then it's Friday, Black Friday. And don't do anything, sleep in as late as we can. And then, look on my social media, play video games. I don't even know what else I did on Friday, but it went by really quickly. And then Saturday, today, again, really didn't do anything until this afternoon when it was a classic Pokemon Go community day with Mareep, and then just sort of got ready for this show. And then tomorrow is last day of my 4-day weekend. It went by so fast, as it always does, and that pisses me off that it goes so fast. Can't believe it's Sunday coming up. Ravens don't play later than night, so about 24 hours from now, the game should be over by now, hopefully with the Ravens' victory. And then they go on their bye, so that's good. And then we go back to work. And then this upcoming Friday is December 1st. So December is right around the corner. Meteorological winter is right around the corner. Meteorological fall is just about to be over with. It's brutally cold right now. It's 28 degrees here in Reisterstown. So yeah, it shouldn't surprise me as much anymore because it always goes by quickly. Because you look forward to this 4-day weekend your whole year. You get to it, you're excited. Wednesday particularly is the best time, and then boom, it's gone. It's gone. It went by like that. So what do we got going on? We've got some anniversaries, a lot of anniversaries. We've got some notable deaths. We've got some Marvel stuff. We've got Scream 7 has some big stuff going on. We have football. We've got some blobs of water. We've got sequels. We've got some casting. We've got some hypocrites. More football, boobies, Twin Peaks. Oh, and extinct animals coming back, that sort of stuff. So let's get started here. I don't think this episode is going to be too long. It is this week now. Exciting stuff has happened since it is, the holiday week. So nothing really exciting is going on here. Just making sure everything's going okay. All right. So Thanksgiving, as I said, nothing really exciting going on. Went and picked up my mom. Looked at the parade. Parade was fine. Wasn't as exciting as it used to be for me. Tweeting it out, it was just sort of mid, whatever you want to call it. And then got my mom. My son went with me, and we got her and drove her down to my in-laws' house. We had a nice Thanksgiving, quiet, low key. Watched some football. ate some food. Didn't have as many hors d'oeuvres as I liked, and the hors d'oeuvres we had were just sort of meh. I wish we had had some different ones, but that's just me. And it was just kind of okay. Thanksgiving wasn't anything super spectacular. And then drove my mom back home, and then me and my son came back here, and then my wife and daughter stayed down there because they were going to do some Black Friday shopping on Friday. So Friday just slept in a little bit, and then just really spent the whole day like Facebooking and social media and stuff like that, and some Fortniting, and that was really about it. And then they came home, did some reading, finished a couple books, and then they came home, and then I got pizza, and then just more sort of not much going on. And then today again, got up late. Actually got up early because a stupid ass truck delivering, I probably believe, some furniture or something to my neighbors decided to roll in at 8 a.m., park right in front of my cars, make their loud noises, the truck running, stuff like that, blocking most of the road, and then not doing anything for like at least 20 minutes, just sitting there. And then that forced me to kind of get up and around 8:15 or so. And that kind of pissed me off. And then just sort of did some social media stuff and Fortnite and get ready for the show, and did a little grocery shopping, Pokemon Go. We did the Mareep Community Day. Just walked around a little bit. Again, just sort of meh. Just not as exciting weekend as I would have liked. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older or I'm just getting more tired or what. It just didn't seem exciting. Maybe the world is shitty right now, and that's why it's making me feel shitty too. We need to get back to where the world is good so that things can feel good again. And then that's it. I mean, and then tomorrow we'll be taking my daughter out driving again. We took her out driving last Sunday. We're going to take her again tomorrow. I was planning on trying to get the Christmas lights and stuff up this weekend. Again, just didn't feel like it. And time gets away from you. So we'll see. Me, so the Ravens don't play till 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So I got plenty of time to do stuff. Got to go grocery shopping, get groceries. Dinner's already prepped, so I don't need to worry about that. And then back to work on Monday. Full week of work, and then Friday's December 1st, and then the weekend again, and then another full week of work, and then the weekend again, and then it's my daughter's birthday week, and then another full week of work, and then one more full week of work, and then it's Christmas, which is going to go by really quickly also, and then we have Christmas week, and then it's going to be New Year's, and then before you know it's going to be 2024, and things are just going to get even more worse. So, it's just wonderful. So nothing too exciting, nothing too great. Wanted to watch the new Doctor Who, didn't. So no review of that, but I heard it was pretty good. It's on Disney Plus. I can watch whatever I want. The family shares the TV, but it seems that I really don't get to watch too much that I like. I watch football, and that's about it, really. Oh, well. Nicolas Cage has finally decided that he's going to step back from acting for a little bit. Doesn't mean he's stopping. It means he's not going to be acting in every freaking movie. I think he has, this year alone, he had at least 6 or 7 movies that he was in that he's doing. So I think he's going to step back from that. So that's good about that. Just in time for the holidays, Cheetos, Mountain Dew, and Doritos have created Snuggies. Remember what Snuggies are? Those are the blankets that you put your arms into and just wear it sort of like a coat, but it's a blanket. Those are available now at like Walmart and Target and stuff like that, but they are branded. So you have the Doritos and Mountain Dew, different types of Mountain Dew. They have the Code Red, and they have the regular Mountain Dew, and they have the Cheetos, and they have the different types of Doritos as well. So there you go. If you like that sort of thing. Dissent pins are little magnetic word things. Have you ever seen those things where you can write like little like have words on it, little magnetic things you put up there? You can make sentences or jokes or poems or whatever. Well, Dissent pins has created 2 of them. 2 new things for the holidays. One is build your own conspiracy theory. So it has a bunch of those little things on there so you can build your own conspiracy theory. It's kind of cool. And they also have Bigfoot, chemtrails, and UFOs. Oh my! Again, another bits of little magnets so you can create your own little conspiracy theories about all that as well. I think those are kind of funny as well. The Umbrella Academy TV show is season 4 will be ending, I think, next year. The show will be ending next year, but you can get the prequel to the series on not on TV show, but on a young adult novel that'll be coming out next year. So that'll be coming here very shortly. The Simpsons movie was fairly successful, but it's been almost 10, 15 years since it came out. But rumors have now started abound again that there will be another movie getting ready to roll in through here real quick. So good on that. Probably the big story of the week, pop culture wise, is Melissa Barrero, who was the star of Scream 5 and Scream 6, and they were prepping Scream 7, continue the trilogy, since Neve Campbell technically started off with a trilogy. Then they made her do the 4th one and then the 5th one, and then she sat out the 6th one. But Melissa Barrero was supposed to be the new face of the Scream saga, but she has been fired off of Scream 7 due to, I think, some posts she put on her social media that do not jibe really well with a lot of things. And the same day, Jenna Ortega, who was also in Scream 5 and 6, also called in and said, I'm not going to be doing it either. And she claims it was due to Wednesday filming, issue with the filming of Wednesday is when they wanted to film this. So she will not be returning. So now 2 of the big main characters that we were following in the first 2 movies are no longer going to be involved in this movie, which has now opened the door for Neve Campbell to come back. They have a new director, so they will probably, since they don't have their stars now, they will probably open their pockets to give her what she deserves. And they're trying to also get Patrick Dempsey back, who was her love interest in Scream 3 and is believed to be the guy who is her now husband and father of her children. Sidney Prescott's character, not Neve Campbell. Trying to get him back as well. And hell, if you really, really wanted to, you could probably use this opportunity now to give all the Screen Theory fans a treat and bring Matthew Lillard back because you all say he's alive. So that could be intriguing. So we'll see what happens with that. But that is the biggest story of the week, really, because on the same day, the 2 stars of Scream 7 both said we ain't doing. Well, one was fired. The other said I'm not doing it because it's going to interfere with my Wednesday filming, which makes sense. So why not? The trailer for the first part of the 3-part Crisis animated film series was released this week. They are doing DC is doing pretty good with their animation thing. They're doing a trilogy for Crisis on Infinite Earths in their animated styling. So the first movie got a trailer, but I still don't think the movie's coming out till later next year. So that's kind of an interesting little thing to do. Big court story this week is back in the 1980s, one of the best soft pop, soft rock duos was Hall & Oates. And they did a lot of popular songs, Private Eyes, stuff like that. And they were fairly popular in the 80s and some in the 90s, but then they sort of just have dissipated, haven't heard much about them until this week when we find out that we learned that Hall has taken out a restraining order against Oates. Don't know the extent of it, the reasoning for it, the reason why it's happening, but it has happened, and it's a interesting story, I guess. Hall taking a restraining order out against his former partner Oates. Interesting. Daniel Radcliffe, Steve Buscemi's TBS show Miracle Workers, which was an American version of Black Adder. It was basically an anthology series where every season had the same actors in it, but they were playing different characters at different genres. The first season was Buscemi was God and Daniel Radcliffe was an angel trying to convince God not to destroy the universe. The second season was the Prince one, the one where they it was like in a castle, medieval times. The third one was Oregon Trail, and the fourth one was like a Mad Max apocalypse sort of thing. And that's all you're going to be getting. Miracle Workers has been canceled on TBS after 4 seasons. So it was definitely an intriguing thing. Never a hugely popular show, but it did succeed 4 seasons. And an interesting idea similar to Black Adder, where you had the same cast members set, the same cast members, but playing different roles in different time frames. So I thought that was kind of neat. And at this point that they are no longer going to be doing that. Thanksgiving stuff. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, the viewership has gone up. It went up 6% from last year. It was 28.5 million people watched the parade on Thanksgiving morning, despite the best efforts from the Nazi Moms of Liberty, who were trying to get people to ban the viewing of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade because they had non-binary actors doing their Broadway shows during the parade. Didn't succeed. It actually went up 6% to 28.5 million viewers. So good on that. And due to CBS, Fox, and NBC, who air Sunday football and then Sunday football during the day and Sunday night football at night, they have the right to air the Thanksgiving games on Thursday, despite the fact that Amazon Prime spent $100 million to air Thursday night football on Amazon Prime. But because this is tradition, so on and so forth, and NBC has the rights to the night game on Thursday night, it pissed off Amazon last year because they are losing money because they're not able to utilize their Thursday game, which they are supposed to be showing because they paid $100 million to show a Thursday game, but they can't on Thanksgiving. So what they decided to do last year was they're going to create a Black Friday game. And that Black Friday game happened yesterday. On Black Friday between the Jets and the Dolphins. And it did not disappoint. Well, it did because, the Jets suck. But the interesting thing about that game was that a company called TCL USA, which is a TV sponsor for the NFL, promised that they would give away $1 million worth of big screen TVs if either team had a play of 98 yards or more during the game, which is it's not very easy to do, but it's not impossible. And they weren't expecting it from the Dolphins or the Jets. And it actually happened. Just going about right before going into halftime, the Jets started a new quarterback by the name of Tim Boyle, and he apparently wanted to get a potential score in before halftime, and so he threw a Hail Mary to try to get a touchdown before they had to go in for the halftime, but it was intercepted by Miami, and they ran it back 99 yards for a pick six just as halftime ended. Miami ended up blowing out the Jets, obviously. But because it was a 99-yard play, the company had to give away $1 million worth of big screen TVs. And they did. They did a good job of it. So that's just kind of funny. So next time you're just going to be like, maybe we shouldn't say that sort of thing. The first behind-the-scenes photos of Eddie Murphy and Beverly Hills Cop 4 started making the rounds this week. that is due to come out next year, 2024. Don't know the date yet. I would assume, and it's going to be on Netflix. So I'm either going to, or Amazon. It's one of those two. I can't remember which one. It's Amazon or Netflix. Probably Amazon, because Coming to America was on Amazon. But at the same time, Dolomite was on, My Name is Dolomite was on Netflix. So it's one of those two. I think it's Amazon, to be honest, because he's also got, on Friday, we're going to get Candy Cane Lane, Eddie Murphy's Christmas movie, coming out directed by Reginald Hudlin. So either way, it doesn't matter. We've been hearing that it was being made, and then it was just sort of, and who the cast was, and that Harold Faltermeyer was coming back for the music, and then it just sort of disappeared with the strike talk and stuff like that. And then now it's coming back with this first behind the scenes picture of Eddie Murphy and his role as Axel Foley. And more than likely the movie will be out in 2024, either in the summer or the fall, depending on certain things. But that came out here this week as well. Baby-faced macaroons. These macaroons, mini macaroons that are used for baby showers, actually have baby faces on them. And it's very disturbing that you would be eating baby faces. Stash, a Sealyhan Terrier, was best in show at the National Dog Show that came on after the Macy's Day Parade. Should have added that to the Thanksgiving storyline, but I thought it was something else. So that's pretty cool. You may spot a comet next year during the total solar eclipse of 2024. So apparently when we get the total solar eclipse of 2024, I think it's like April or May, something like that, you will be able to see, due to the darkening of the sun, you will be able to see the comet. Now, you'll be able to see the comet at night, obviously, but you will also probably be able to see it during the day during this total solar eclipse that'll be coming up next year. So that's kind of cool. Now, 2024 is kind of weird because it's election year, and we got all that shit going on as well. We have this total solar eclipse. Thanksgiving is late next year. It's always the fourth Thursday of November, and due to us having extra day, 366 days next year, Thanksgiving will not go until the 27th, I think, of November next year. So at this time next year, we will be just getting ready to get off here soon for Thanksgiving, because it is now physically the 26th, since it is it is now Sunday afternoon after midnight. So saying 26th would be Monday, Tuesday, 26th. It'd be the 28th. So Thanksgiving is on the 28th next year. So technically, this time next year, the 26th will be a Tuesday. So the 27th will be a Wednesday, and the 28th will be a Thursday. So Thanksgiving will be the 28th, and Easter is early this year. It is March 30th this year, which really sucks ass, because then that means that there is nothing in April. No holidays, no nothing, no days off we can get. So, oh well, we'll have to suck that up. So yeah, so fun times. So yeah, that's what's going on. 2024 is going to be stacked. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. Missing blob of water predicted to be in the Atlantic Ocean has been found. It is called the Atlantic Equatorial Water. And apparently the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean have similar mysterious blobs of water, but the Atlantic does not. I was trying to read up on the scientific stuff, but they got a little too scientific for me. The blob is like basically where a bunch of different currents from all the different areas of the ocean combine into one area. And this Atlantic Equatorial, which they just discovered this week, goes from like the West Indies down to the western part of Africa, something like that. So it's somewhere further down south, but it's something they discovered, because they thought they hadn't discovered it, but they found it in the Pacific and in the Indian Ocean. It's like, well, why would that happen there and not the Atlantic? So they did find it this week in the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the MCU has been unfairly getting tore apart over the last few months for various things, and I've got two stories that are actually showing the MCU in a better light. The first and foremost is, and I understand it's not all fair, but the multiverse saga, which was started with Black Widow and ended with I mean, technically, it's still going on, right? The saga is still going. Black Widow and it's still sort of going on now, and we'll probably go till Kang Dynasty. Has had some failures at the box office, but there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the rise of Disney Plus. People not wanting to go to movie theaters to watch the movie. Instead, will wait a few months to watch it on Disney Plus, basically for free for the most part. I mean, except for they're paying for the Disney Plus, membership, stuff like that. So they do that. And then also whole COVID stuff happened during that time. So a lot of movies weren't getting moved and were not getting released and getting moved and stuff like that. And, maybe there was a little bit of fatigue set in, but not according to these numbers. The Multiverse Saga's box office numbers prove that there is really no real superhero fatigue. Prior to the Marvels, they don't have the Marvels final tally yet, so they can add to this. So it will go up because of that. 10 films in the Multiverse Saga have grossed combined $8.1 billion, which is an average of $815 million a picture. Now, yes, Spider-Man No Way Home had a big part to play in that, and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 had a big part to play in that. Those were the big hitters for Marvel. But the fact of the matter is that the box office numbers are proving that there's still life in the MCU, despite what all the naysayers are. And they also proved once again that even the mediocre numbers that the current crop of MCU movies have are outweighing the disgusting box office of the DC cinematic universe. So Marvel is beating DC in all aspects of moviedom. So that was kind of interesting to look at that. The other thing is everyone keeps screaming that Disney's all woke, blah, blah. Woke is one of the stupidest words you've ever heard, and it's one of the stupidest things in the world to even come up with. And I'm not even going to get into a detail about it. But the MCU announced this week, because they keep trying to keep announcing this week, but there are no rumors, stuff like that. This is all more rumors. Nobody will know anything till we actually get the official word from Disney. But they said that since it appears to be that Galactus is going to be the main bad guy in the Fantastic Four, he needs a herald. So everyone's saying it appears that the Silver Surfer in the new Fantastic Four movie will be a female. And everybody's screaming, Disney's woke, Disney's woke. That just goes to prove you are not comic book fans. Galactus does have, or has had at one time, a female herald. Frankie Ray, also known as Nova, was a female herald of Galactus for a really long-ass time. And if they're going to do it that way, don't call her the Silver Surfer. Just call her Frankie Ray or Nova. Because that's a character in Marvel Comics that's been around since John Byrne was running the Fantastic Four back in the 1980s. 40 fucking years ago. So Disney is not all of a sudden woke. There is a female Herald of Galactus. Honestly, myself, I'd rather would have seen like a Fire Lord or Terrax. Terrible would have been two character designs that are really cool that I like to see in the movie done. But I would love to see a Frankie Ray Nova. That's fine. I'm okay. And I don't need to see a Norman Rod Silver Surfer. He can have his own cosmic adventures. I don't care. But Disney is not being woke. There is a female Herald of Galactus. There has been for 40 fucking years. So get over yourselves, dumbasses, and read some fucking comic books before you even speak. Dumbasses. Um, Anniversaries. The two big anniversaries we'll talk about this week were the 60th anniversary of John F. Kennedy's assassination, was on November 22nd. And November 23rd was the 60th anniversary of the first airing of Doctor Who. So two fairly big anniversaries hit their 60th year windows. Complete opposite storylines. One was a major tragedy, and one was the creation of a massive science fiction boondoggle, as it were, which has generated tons of content and is hugely popular in England and Europe, and somewhat popular here in the United States. Not as much as it is in England, but it's still fairly big. So that was the anniversary this week. One of the only films considered to be a Thanksgiving film is John Hughes' Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that film was released this week, Thanksgiving week, 36 years ago. One of my favorite Christmas movies of all time was also released this week. I did not see it until the end of December, but of this year, 35 years ago, in 1988. But I did see it in the movie theaters. Scrooged, Bill Murray and Richard Donner's take on the Christmas Carol storyline in modern times. It's great, great movie. Love it, hilarious. Great Danny Elfman score. Fantastic direction by Richard Donner. Great performances by Bill Murray and Carol Kane, particularly. And Bobcat Goldthwait actually was not annoying. Alfred Woodard was great in it. It's a family affair. All of Bill's brothers were involved in the movie. You get to see some Wendy Malick in there. You get to see some Buster Poindexter, which was kind of interesting to see that. Who else was going? Good to see some John Glover, who was a local guy, went to Towson State University when it was called Towson State University. It's called Towson University. He's in it as well. Big role in there. You get Robert Mitchum, and I forget the other big time actor was. They got another really big time actor in there as well. Mabel King was in it. Just a great movie in general. A lot of fun. A lot of interest, very interesting, and I really enjoyed it immensely. 25 years ago, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, one of the considered to be the best Legend of Zelda video game, came out 25 years ago in 1998. Toy Story 2 came out 24 years ago this week. I remember that was 97 then. I think I remember going to the movie theater. That can't be right. It has to be right. With my brother-in-law and my sister and their young baby, so it had to be Luke. It had to have been, no, because 24 years ago would have been 99. Yes, would have been 99. So that would have been, that would have been about right then. So he was still a wee little 2-year-old, right? I think. Yeah, I think so. I just remember going to the movie theater and he fell asleep through most of it on my brother-in-law. It was kind of interesting. The Mist, Stephen King's the adaptation, Frank Darabont's adaptation of the Stephen King novella, came out 16 years ago. Still has one of the craziest endings of all time and is better watched in the black and white version, by the way. The post-apocalyptic film The Road, based on the novel, I forget by which author, Cormac McCarthy, that's who it was, came out 14 years ago this week. And the first Creed movie came out 8 years ago this week as well. We got a lot of anniversaries this week. I'm going to tell you what, I keep going because I got a whole bunch on this page here. Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 version with the woman who was in Pirates of the Caribbean, can't think of her name. That came out 2005, so obviously 18 years ago this week. Sleepy Hollow came out 24 years ago this week as well. I saw that in the movie theater. That's Tim Burton's wonderful take on Sleepy Hollow. And again, missed the time window. If he would have released it in October, probably it made a ton of money, but it probably would have made a ton more money. Same with releasing Wednesday. They released, unfortunately, Wednesday. That's another anniversary this week, Wednesday. Season 1 was released 1 year ago this week. If they would have released it back in October, it might have had bigger viewership. It still did really well because they got a second season coming, and it was a huge hit. Toy Story 2 came out, as I told you, this week, 24 years ago. The original Toy Story also came out this week, 28 years ago this week. Back to the Future, one of my favorite. Back to the Future Part 2, I should say, one of my favorite. I think it's an underrated sequel. I think a lot of people hate on it for no reason. I loved it. It came out 34 years ago this week, in 1989. Better Off Dead, one of my favorite 80s movies with John Cusack and Savage Steve Holland directing and Curtis Armstrong, came out 38 years ago this week. Casino came out 28 years ago this week. The Addams Family, the original film from 1991, came out 32 years ago this week. Star Trek First Contact, did not get the date for that, but that came out this week as well. And the St. Louis Browns became the Baltimore Orioles baseball team in this week in 1953. So that would be 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 2023, 70 years ago this week. So, happy anniversary to that. Now, this is all the anniversaries that I have on this page. I got more coming up. I got a lot more coming up. But a lot of people had heard about this Karate Kid reboot or whatever that was coming here in the next few years after Cobra Kai finishes up. They were going to do a Karate Kid remake, and nobody knew what it actually was going to be. It's going to be a film, not a TV series. So we get some casting news this week. Turns out they're really going multiversal in this one. They're bringing Jackie Chan, who was played Mr. Miyagi in the remake with Will Smith's son's version, and Ralph Macchio, who was the original Karate Kid, together in one movie to team up and make a new Karate Kid movie. Don't know how it's all going to fit together, but here we are. I talked about Creed having an anniversary this week. Well, Creed 4 is currently in the works right now with Michael B. Jordan returning to direct. He did a fairly good job with the third one. And he kind of wants to do another one now. Brendan Fraser has been cast in his first role after winning the Oscar. It is a dramedy, from what I've read the description, called Rental Family. And it's about a Japanese family that rents out an American actor to be their token American for whatever reason. And he learns about life and love and all that stuff. So it's going to be one of those little cool, interesting things about that. David Filoni has been named the Lucasfilm's chief creator officer after his success with Clone Wars and Ahsoka and all this stuff. In The Mandalorian, they've picked him up and made him, pretty much put him in charge of Star Wars right now for the most part. The Muppets Mayhem, the TV show on Disney Plus, has called it a season. After one season, they're no longer going to be doing any more seasons. So it's just so weird that no one can do anything with the Muppets. It just doesn't seem to be doing all that well. Scientists use facial reevaluating technology on Skyrim skeletons so you can figure out what this Skyrim character looked like before he turned into a skeleton. It's something they'd use just for actual, forensic stuff, but this was more along the lines of a fun little thing to do. Skylar Gizondo is Jimmy Olsen, and Sarah Sampio is Eve Teskmacher. And what's his name? I know it's around here somewhere. Nicholas Hoult. That's right. Nicholas Hoult has been cast as Lex Luthor. All three of them have been cast in the new James Gunn Superman movie. So that cast is coming together here real quick. Scientists are stumped by mysterious flashes of light on Venus. They don't quite know exactly what they are. I would assume it has something to do with the volcanic activity that's down there, but they don't know for sure. Moon trailer is going to be a Despicable Me / Minions short that'll be played before the new Illumination movie Migration. And we get to find out what Vector's been up to on the moon. He is the villain from the original Despicable Me movie, and we're finally going to find out what's going on with him. One of a lot of people's favorite Christmas traditions is to watch the Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas, which is Jim Henson's Muppets. He created a Christmas thing that didn't have to do. He created all new Muppets for it. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas is a huge, popular Christmas special around this time. And a group has turned into a musical that is airing in Chicago, and they would like it to maybe make its way up to Broadway. So we'll see more about that. Black Mirror, the sci-fi horror anthology on Netflix, has been renewed for a 7th season. Scientists say that new AI can translate what chickens are saying. Like, I always want to know what chickens are saying. But, now we can. Apparently, a new study came out that dog food inspired Pop-Tarts. I didn't read the article, but that's intriguing. Here's your cryptid news for the week. There's another one coming up down the line, but this is actually, both of them are on this page. First one is a hybrid panther cryptid was caught on film in a Scots village. So more and more proof that black cats are big black cats are wandering the United Kingdom. And scientists have taken some DNA from an area where they believe that they saw the Loch Ness Monster, hoping that, this new technology, they can maybe, the creature might have released some DNA. They can try to figure out what it is. The only thing they discovered from it is that there are 2 different styles of algae that were DNA in there. So a lot of people wondering if maybe the Loch Ness Monster thing is that it's a giant algae monster, not a monster, made of algae, but just algae, just coagulating into one big thing, which is causing people to believe that they're seeing snake-like creatures or humps or whatever of Loch Ness Monster. Don't believe that too much, but that's possibly what it is. Deadpool 3 and Chucky Season 3 have restarted filming again, so that's underway again as well. Focus Features has secured the distribution rights to the Bike Riders. Disney got rid of them, said they weren't going to release that. They were going to try to release the movie this year, but they did not put it on the schedule. Focus Features snapped up the rights for distribution in its place and will distribute the film sometime in 2024. So still not going to make it this year, but for the most part, they believe Disney gave up on it, so Focus took it over because they believe it should make its way out to movie theaters. Going back to Thanksgiving again, the Detroit Lions, who have been having a stellar season so far in the NFL, and a lot of people were hoping that they would turn around their Thanksgiving nightmares where they haven't been winning. I think they had lost 6 straight Thanksgiving games over the last 6 years. So people are hoping that this new good team of the Detroit Lions would secure a victory for them and continue to show that they are a team on the rise against the lowly Green Bay Packers. That did not happen. The Green Bay Packers came in there and just totally dominated the game despite the score only being 29-22. The Packers dominated that game. The most confusing thing about that game was the fake punt on the Packers 22, which meant that, rather I should say on the Lions 22, which if it didn't succeed, and it didn't succeed, the Packers got the ball on the 22, ended up getting a touchdown because of that. multiple fumbles, just a bad game overall, lots of sacks of the quarterback, just a terrible, terrible game, despite the score being 29-22. It should have been closer than that because they had a chance to tie it up, but they didn't quite get it into the end zone. So, but the interesting thing about that is if you want to really make a crazy leap, but at the same time, you're like, oh, that's kind of an interesting little stat. A guy the day before the game started did some research, and I don't know where you would come up with this research or why you would even think about this, but they said the last time that on Thanksgiving there was a waxing gibbous moon, which is what was happening on Thanksgiving this year, the Lions were 0-12. So they said, I don't think the Lions are going to win the game, so I'm going to pick against them. The Lions did not win on Thanksgiving. So the waxing gibbous moon now is 0-13. So whenever there's a waxing gibbous moon on Thanksgiving, the Detroit Lions tend to lose the game no matter how good or bad they are. If you want to believe that, you can, but that's just kind of an interesting little stat that they threw in there. I'm going to talk more about Fortnite here in a little bit, but Eminem will be getting a skin. Actually, be getting 3 skins, 3 versions of the skin on 11/29 on November 29th, and will be involved in the live event on December 2nd, which is next Saturday. So more about Fortnite a little bit. Researchers have discovered that great white sharks have been hanging around at depths of 3,200 feet, and they're calling that the Twilight Zone, and they don't know why. They're not doing anything. They're just sort of just chilling there. They don't know why massive amounts of great whites are going that deep in the water and just sort of chilling out there. So they're trying to figure that out. This is just hypocritical. Martin Scorsese directed a movie, remake of an old 1940s, 50s, 60s movie called Cape Fear. It was violent stalker movie with Robert De Niro, Juliette Lewis, Nick Nolte, and I forget, Jessica Lange, I think. I want to say Aunt Jessica was in it. And it did fairly good, but it was a typical Scorsese movie, violent and stuff like that. And he's been going on record as saying that the comic book movies are all the same, that there's no originality, that there's that they're not cinema, blah, blah, blah. We're going to get into that a little bit later too. But here you are remaking your movie into a TV show. Cape Fear TV show is coming from Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, and Nick Antosca. But the fact that, he says comic movies are derivative and repeat themselves, you're literally remaking a movie you made. That's basically repeating yourself as well. They're not remaking any superhero movies. That's just the way the movies are. You're physically remaking something, which is what you are accusing. You're doing what you're accusing comic book movies of doing, and why you don't like comic book movies. You make no sense. None. The hell? Oh, yeah, well, we'll continue that then. Yeah, so we'll do that. So I just talked about Martin Scorsese. John Woo has come out as saying that he does not like comic book movies, that he likes real cinema. Well, apparently, I guess real cinema is extreme violence and gun violence, because that's what all your movies are, John Woo, and all your movies are, Martin Scorsese, is violence, 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 gun violence, 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 stuff like that, which could actually physically harm people because people have suffered from this type of violence. Comic book movies are comic book violence. They're not real life violence. And you're You're calling violence with killing people and shooting people with guns, stuff like that. You're calling that cinema. John Woo, you're nothing but a action comic book star, movie. Your all your action films are highly balletic with crazy shooting and spinning around and stuff like that, which is what they do in comic book movies. The only difference is they wear costumes and they don't kill people. They fight. And you're calling that type of stuff cinema. You guys need to fucking sit your asses down. You sound ridiculous. And also, cinema is art. You've said it before, too. Cinema is a type of art. Are you disparaging Marvel and DC and comic book movies as not being real art because it doesn't match with your take on artwork? That goes against everything what art is. Art is subjective. There's not good art or bad art. It's all art. So you can't call stuff bad and not cinema, which is basically saying it's not art. And again, all your movies are all the same. Both your movies, all the movies you make are the same. Crazy gunfights, gun violence, death, murder, killing, stuff like that. Misogyny all over the place. You guys really need a fucking clue, and you need to shut the fuck up. I'm really getting sick of this shit. Dumbasses. The Penguin TV show with Colin Farrell that was filming before the strike is now going to restart filming themselves, the TV series. They say after Thanksgiving, but I'm thinking it's going to be closer probably to early 2024. They'll be doing that as well. I talked about the first behind-the-scenes photos of Beverly Hills Cop 4. We also got our first behind-the-scenes photos of The Gentleman, which is Henry Cavill's new film with director Guy Ritchie. Wes Craven's classic, The People Under the Stairs, is getting a remake from Peele by something, I forget the first guy's name. Peele, the guy who's been doing a really good job of Key and Peele and stuff like that. Been doing a good job of bringing back horror into the 21st century. So he's going to be doing a remake of that. Blue Bloods, the Tom Selleck cop TV show, is coming to an end after this season as well. A new Jason Bourne movie is due to start getting worked on here soon from the director of All Quiet on the Western Front, which was an Oscar Award-nominated films. Former Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco has officially signed with the Cleveland Browns to be a number 3 quarterback and to bring some veteran experience to a team trying to make it to the Super Bowl, or at least the playoffs anyway. Speaking of that, the Baltimore Ravens, my football team, due to the Kansas City Chiefs losing to the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday, the Baltimore Ravens are now the number 1 seed in the AFC. Now, what that means is they have to continue to win if they want to keep that number 1 seed, and they also need a little help from Kansas City also. Not really Kansas City, but whoever they're playing. Here's a scenario. The Ravens have not had their bye yet. Their bye is coming up next weekend. They have one more game here. They're playing the Los Angeles Chargers 8:20 p.m. later tonight because it is after midnight, so it is officially Sunday. And if they win that one and the Chiefs win their game against the Raiders, which they probably will, they will still both have the same record. I think the Ravens will be up by 1. Yes, so they'll be 8-3. They'll be 9-3. So the Ravens will still be the number 1 seed, and then they go on their bye week, and the Chiefs play somebody. Don't know who they're playing. If the Chiefs end up winning that game, they will be 9-3, tied with a tie record for the Ravens, and the Chiefs will become the number 1 seed again because 2 of their 3 losses were against the NFC. 1 was against the AFC. The Ravens, all 3 of their losses came to the AFC. So the Chiefs have a better record within the AFC. That's why they would become the number 1 seed. So, the Chiefs have to lose next weekend, or at least this weekend. Or this weekend. If they lose this weekend, it's not going to matter what happens next weekend. When the Ravens are on a bye, they'll still be the number 1 seed. But right now, we have to win. We have to win tonight. We do that, we continue being the number 1 seed. If we do not win tonight, we will be dropped back down to the number 2 seed, because the Chiefs are probably going to win. If the Chiefs don't win, then I don't know what's going to happen. And that will make the Ravens be 8-4, and the Chiefs will be 7-4. So I guess we'd still be the number 1 seed, but still will kind of suck. So that's pretty good. So right now, the Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Beetlejuice 2 has finished filming, so it is going to get edited now by Mr. Burton, get the music set by Tim Burton, by Danny Elfman, and it should make its, I believe it's a September date. If I was Tim Burton, I would move it to October. It's probably not, he's not probably going to, because I don't think he'll have it ready in time for summer. He might, but I don't think so. I think they're aiming for September right now for it, but I think they really should push it to October. Or do it in the summer if they can get it done. But that is done filming. The surprise winner of one of the surprise hit was Five Nights at Freddy. It is due out on Blu-ray on my daughter's birthday, December 12th. So we'll see Five Nights at Freddy on Blu-ray here in about a month, less than a month actually. A morning shot of whiskey is the secret of a long life, according to a 102-year-old man who's had a shot of whiskey every day of his life for the most part when he can start drinking, and he's lived to be 102 years old. There is a mommy maker lifelike baby costume for dogs. If you want to actually dress your dog up like a baby, they actually have costumes for that now. Doesn't make any sense to me. Regé Jean Paul is leading the remake of The Saint, which was a movie that Val Kilmer made with Elizabeth Shue back in the late 90s, which is a remake itself of a British TV show from the 60s. Doug Liman is set to direct. He hasn't directed for a while, but he's a pretty good director when it comes to stuff like that. Annapolis, local news. Annapolis, the capital of Maryland, was named number 5 on the list of the most enchanting Christmas towns in the United States. That's good. Also, local news. Former Oriole killer star closer Zach Britton has announced his retirement. So congratulations on him for a fantastic career. Suki Waterhouse and Robert Pattinson are expecting their first child together. So congratulations to the new couple there. The Montreal Alouettes have won the Canadian Football League Grey Cup, which is their version of the Super Bowl. Speaking of Canada, Quebec is finally getting an NHL team again. So that'll be coming up next season. Despite everyone screaming about how bad Brie Larson is as Captain Marvel, and they're talking that due to the failure of the Marvels that Disney is going to remove Brie Larson. Brie Larson's come out and said, "Yeah, not going anywhere. I'm here for the whole time, and they ain't going to remove me, and it's all good, and I'll be back." So good on that. Twix Chocolate Caramel Ale is a beer out there now with chocolate caramel flavor. I guess that could be interesting. The Ones Who Live, which is the Rick and Michonne Walking Dead spinoff, had a new trailer come out this week and had a debut date of February 25th. So you'll see the next Walking Dead spinoff coming on February 25th. A fossilized Bigfoot thumb has been found. Again, don't know how true that is, but it is out there in the world. Long lost painting worth $26 million is headed to the Louvre after being found hanging in an elderly woman's kitchen. Just hanging there. Crazy. December 2nd, from 2 to 4, Fortnite will be doing their live event to end this chapter. Chapter 4, they haven't had a live event since the end of Chapter 3, where they recreated the island. They do not have any live events in Chapter 4, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, or now, and now they're going to have one in season or Season 4. They're having one in Season 5, though. And it's called The Big Bang. And Eminem is going to be playing a big part of it. He's getting his skin November 29th. But apparently the rumor going around is that Fortnite is going to release 4 new game modes for the game. A rhythmic style game mode, which has got the likes of Lady Gaga and Eminem working with them to do stuff. There's a car racing mode that you can also get into also. There's a Lego mode you'll be able to get into also, and there will be the regular Battle Royale mode as well. So we'll find out more about that in about a week. So when I do my show next week, I should be doing a recap of the new the live event for Fortnite with a new season starting on next Sunday. Which I won't be able to play because now I'm told I have to go down to my in-laws' house to help them pick out a Christmas tree. Okay. Well, it's that time of year again. Krampus is coming December 5th. That's not till next week, but it's 2 weeks away basically because the 1st is on Friday, so it's 2 Tuesdays from now. But director Michael Dougherty, who made the original Krampus movie, is talking about a Krampus 2 movie. Krampus is not just a movie; it is an actual holiday that is celebrated over in Europe. It has made its way over here a little bit, and I like Krampus. You always see me wear my Krampus Christmas sweater when I do the show around Krampus Day, so that'd be cool. But there's rumors that he's working on a sequel to Krampus, so that's good. Sir Anthony Hopkins gets emotional after Andre Ruiz's orchestra plays the waltz that Sir Anthony Hopkins wrote 50 years ago. It had never been played before, and he finally heard it with a live orchestra, and of course you're going to get emotional. It's crazy. Bloomington High School South had a student by the name of Happy Gilmore, obviously named after the Adam Sandler movie. I guess it was the Gilmores. They said, hey, we should name our son Happy and call him Happy Gilmore. So there's an actual Happy Gilmore, real kid, who went to Bloomington High School. And he just signed a golf scholarship to Ball State University. Just the fact that a guy named Happy Gilmore, a real person named Happy Gilmore, is a golf prodigy is funny as hell. This is kind of interesting. It's that time of the year again. As I said, December 1st is the beginning of meteorological winter, with actual winter coming December 20th, 21st, somewhere around there. But because of the way our planet is and our view to the sun, Barrow, Alaska, which is one of the furthest north civilizations, cities up there, and is the topic of the classic horror comic 30 Days of Night. Barrow, Alaska saw the sun set this week. They will not see the sun again until January 23rd, 2 months later. So it shouldn't have been 30 days of dark. It should have been 60 days of dark, because they will not see the sun at all for 2 months in Barrow, Alaska. And that started this week as well. Anniversaries, Addams Family. I told you the original Addams Family movie came out 1991. The Addams Family Values, 30 years old this week, came out in 1993. Home Alone 2 came out 31 years ago this week in 1992. Okay sequel. Not the original film is just a classic. And the two of the three major deaths that happened this week. There's one more here. Yep. Rosalind Carter, the former First Lady and wife of Jimmy Carter, they were married for 70 some years. She passed away this week at the age of like 90 something, I think. And Joss Ackland, a character actor, died at the age of 95. He was in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and I want to say Wayne's World 2 maybe. But he died this week as well. The other death that happened this week, since there's only one other one, since we're on our last page here, was just announced about a couple hours before I did the show. Marty Croft of Sid and Marty Croft, the creators of HR Puffin Stuff and Land of the Lost, stuff like that. Marty Croft passed away on Saturday night at 86. As I was talking about earlier, December 2nd is the last, from 2 to 4 will be the live event that ends Chapter 4 and sets up Chapter 5 with all the new game modes, stuff like that. This Chapter 4 Season 5 has been the OG season. I've complained about this over a while. Nostalgic former Fortnite players screaming to get the original map back finally had a full month to play the map back, and they were so ecstatic, whatever. That one of the streamers who used to do Fortnite streaming when it first came out has declared that there should be a ceasefire on December 2nd where nobody gets into the battle group, that everybody just run around and enjoy the map and nobody gets killed. And I think that's a fucking ridiculous sort of thing. It's a fucking video game. It's a island that, to be honest, is boring as fuck. This season has been boring as fuck. Nothing really of interest has happened except the changing of the guns every week. No, POI only changed once, and then they added a meteorite. That was about it. There was nothing really exciting at all about this season. Yes, I didn't start till Chapter 2, Season 2. And I don't have the nostalgia for it, but I don't quite get the nostalgia for it. It's a video game. Yes, life was good before, Trump and everything went to fucking hell and everything was great. And it was when it wasn't a hugely popular game and everybody was talking about it and blah, 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 blah. And to declare a ceasefire in Fortnite so they can run around and enjoy the island that is boring as fuck. Fuck no. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go on that before the live event. I'm going to go in there. And if there are people just running around enjoying stuff, I'm going to fucking blow them away. It's a fucking battle royale game. It's not a fucking, hey, let's run around and enjoy this boring map. And I'm not alone in this. The comments to the guy who was declaring that there should be a ceasefire were all laughing at him also. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a fucking video game. And to get nostalgic over an island and whining and crying that you're never going to see it again, God damn it. Move forward, for God's sakes. The game is really more interesting now than it was in Season 1. Now that I played the first Chapter Island, this Chapter Island was boring as fuck. Now, when it first came out, yeah, it might have been a pretty good island. It'd be pretty cool. But, it might be interesting, but I've grown up. Chapter 2 is still my favorite season because that's the one I started on. It lasted 8 seasons, and it was great, and I loved it. There were so many great things, and then Chapter 3 was mid, and Chapter 4 was kind of mid, but still, I'm not nostalgic for all that stuff. Would I like to see some Chapter 2 stuff? Love, sure, absolutely would, but I don't want to come back and replay the island again. Let's move forward and get new stuff. That's what I care about. Fucking ceasefire my ass. I got a lot of really good This is just, I just wanted to add this because it's just really stupid. This whole thing about an ancient race of giants. What do they call them? They have a specific name for them. All these psychopathic conspiracy theorists who believe that there were a race of giants on the earth before him, and all these proof with all the things going. It's absolutely ridiculous. But now apparently there is more proof that ancient giant humans with double rows of teeth have been discovered in Ohio, New York, Minnesota. I'm sorry, not Minnesota, Massachusetts, Virginia, and Michigan. And it's like, what was discovered there? Bones? I haven't seen anything or heard anything about that. It was because it's covered up. Nephilim, that's what the fucking people got. It's so fucking ridiculous, these conspiracy theorists. It's so ridiculous going down the rabbit hole of these stupid videos. But sometimes you just can't help it. They're just there. And it's just interesting to see how out of it these people are. The long-beaked echidna, thought to have been extinct for over 60 years, has been rediscovered. Living alive right now, it is one of the only other mammals that also lays eggs. The duck-billed platypus is the other one. But that was pretty cool. Mark Frost, co-creator of Twin Peaks, revealed this week that he has consulted with Nintendo on Legend of Zelda games, just sort of giving story ideas and playthroughs and stuff like that, but nothing major like that. He's never played the video games before, but he's just giving out ideas like that, so that's kind of neat. Aardman Animation, which works basically with claymation, is running out of clay. They're finding it really hard to access more clay for their animated films, so it's kind of interesting about that. This is how ridiculous college football fans are. Ohio State and Michigan is one of the biggest rivalries in college football history. And Saturday, was the Ohio State-Michigan game. Michigan was number 3. Ohio State was number 2. Both were undefeated. Ohio State lost 30-24 to Michigan. Michigan's coach is currently suspended. And Ohio State fans are now screaming that the coach of Ohio State football team should be fired. The Ohio State football coach's record as coach, 56-7. And they want to fire him because he cannot beat Michigan. He's lost to Michigan over the last 3 years. 56-7. If you fire him, I would sign him in a second. You're consistently in the top 5. You're consistently in the playoffs. You're consistently on TV all the time. You're consistently getting people drafted from your team pretty high up. You're a well-respected college football team. And you want to fire your coach who has a record of 56-7 just because they've lost 3 games against your rival? You need a lot of help, man. You need a lot of help. Morons. The owner of Barstool Sports is suing the NFL and the Cincinnati Bengals after he placed a $120,000 bid. I think it's $100K. It's either $100K or $100. I think it's $100K. $100K bet on the Cincinnati Bengals to win or lose to the Ravens within 4 points. So it didn't matter if the Bengals won or lost as long as the final score was within 4 points. And if it turned out to be that way, he would have doubled his money, I think. So the Ravens played the Bengals on Thursday night, and they beat the Bengals. And we talked about that, I think, on the show last week because that Saturday we did the show. And Joe Burrow, their star quarterback, got injured and could not finish the game. They brought in a second string, third stringer who could not score a touchdown against that Ravens defense. And Bengals end up losing by like 10 or 12 or something like that. So this guy is suing the NFL and the Bengals because, not just because he lost, but the fact of the matter was that Joe Burrow was photographed earlier in the week before the Ravens game of having some sort of weird air cast on his hand, like he was having issues with his throwing hand. But Joe Burrow was not on the Cincinnati Bengals injury report. If Joe Burrow, and you're supposed to, if there's an injury, doesn't matter how slight, if he's going to play, you still need to declare an injury. If Joe Burrow was on that injury report with his hand or whatever, this dude probably would not have made the bet because it would have been too risky. He might hurt himself. But for all he knew, there was nothing wrong with Joe Burrow and he was healthy. Now, yes, there's a little bit of luck in the way. Maybe the Ravens defense could have taken out Joe Burrow and not allowed him to score, and the Ravens offense could have been amazing. There's always that chance that could have happened. But they have a better shot when Joe Burrow is in there to score points. So we'll see how that turns out. In the end, I don't think he's going to succeed because it is, that's what a bet is. You bet at your own risk. What's to say that the Ravens defense wouldn't have shut down Joe Burrow if he played the whole game? What's to say that he wouldn't have gotten more points or whatever? He wouldn't have scored touchdowns. He only scored field goals, and he'd still lose by 10 or 12. He still could have. So I don't think anything is going to come of that, but still, it's kind of ridiculous. Susan Sarandon is an actress who has bared it all in a number of movies. And now her son is telling people, please do not post my mother's tits all over the internet, despite the fact that they're already there. Nothing to do about it, son. You knew about that going in there. I got 2 stories left that I'm going to be my last 2 stories for the day. But so before that, we'll do the anniversaries. Salem's Lot, the remake, the first adaptation of Stephen King's novel, came out in 1979 this week. And National Treasure with Nicolas Cage came out 19 years ago this week. First up, you can bury your loved ones in a coffee table now. That's not a Onion ad or a fake ad. It is a real ad for something where you can bury your loved ones in a coffee table and have their body there with you forever, which just seems really kind of weird to me. And the final story of the week, Ninja Parade slips by town unseen once again. This Ninja Parade has been going on for years, and this town never gets to see it because ninjas are impossible to see, and they are very quick, and they do it without anybody knowing. I just find it kind of funny. That is it for this week. Next week, we get into December. Yay! And we also have Fortnite live event. So we'll talk about that. And maybe Candy Cane Lane. We'll see. But that's it. We're getting December. So this is the last weekend of November 2024 where I'll be doing my show. Next weekend will be December 2nd. I'll be doing my show. So another month down the tubes. And we're entering the end game here. Excuse me. So we'll see what happens. All right, everybody. It's just after 1 o'clock. It's time for me to shut down. And I know my wife is still up there. I hope she goes to bed soon because I kind of like to just decompress by myself, but that's just me. So we'll see you guys later this week. We'll see you in December, to be honest. Have a good rest of your week. Watch the Ravens play the Chargers tonight at 8:20 p.m. On NBC. That's Eastern time, so wherever time zone you are, you know what time it'll be on. Other than that, not much else going on, and we'll let you know what's going on. We're entering meteorological winter next month, so keep your eyes clean and your ears clean and be healthy, and hope you had a great Thanksgiving.